Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're exploring the 12 fundamental laws of reality. Now, these aren't just trendy self-help concepts. These are the cosmic rules of the quantum field, and they've been around for a very, very long time. We're talking about principles carved literally into stone in ancient Egypt. These are the exact same laws studied deeply by brilliant minds like Nikola Tesla when he was developing his world-changing inventions, and by Albert Einstein when he famously insisted that God does not play dice with the universe. And here is the wildest part. You are using these laws every single second of your life, whether you actually realize it or not. To hook you immediately on just how powerful this all is, I want you to think about this number, 5,000. The HeartMath Institute made an incredible discovery. They found that the human heart produces an electromagnetic field that is 5,000 times stronger than the brain. Just let that sink in for a second. 5,000 times. And this field isn't static, it completely changes based on your emotional state. So when you're in a state of genuine gratitude and love, your field becomes incredibly coherent and ordered. It essentially acts as this massive, powerful quantum magnet that the people around you subconsciously feel and react to. And modern physics is proving just how incredible this gets with a mind-bending concept called retrocausality. In a massive 2024 Princeton physics group experiment, researchers actually proved what the ancient Greeks had suspected all along. The future literally influences the past. In their quantum experiments, particles somehow knew exactly what measurements were going to be taken in the future, and they actually changed their behavior in the past to match it. No, seriously, it essentially proves that your future is already influencing your present decisions right now. But wait, it gets even more fascinating when we start looking at morphic fields. Cambridge researcher Rupert Sheldrake discovered these invisible informational fields that store memory across similar systems. He found that, for example, when a group of rats in a London laboratory learned to navigate a complex new maze, an entirely separate group of rats over in Tokyo suddenly started navigating the exact same maze much, much faster. There was absolutely zero physical contact between them. The information just transfers invisibly right through these morphic fields. Now, you might be wondering how we can actually use any of this. Well, these complex cosmic rules can be neatly organized into 3 actionable triads. We break them down into foundation, movement, and creation. This gives us a really clear, structured roadmap to understand the exact mechanics of the universe, so we can step out of the passenger seat and begin to consciously apply them. Triad 1, Foundation Laws. This is the bedrock. Everything else we talk about is built right on top of this. And it all begins with the law of divine oneness, which simply states that absolutely everything is connected. In quantum physics, they call this non-locality. It means that if 2 particles are connected, they remain perfectly connected even if they're eventually scattered to totally opposite ends of the galaxy. You are connected by these invisible, non-local quantum threads to absolutely everything you have ever interacted with. Next up in our foundation is the law of vibration. This tells us that literally everything vibrates. The problem is, most people are living in what we'd call a survival vibration. You know the feeling, waking up dreading Monday, just trying to survive until the weekend finally rolls around. Living in that survival mode literally repels success. On the flip side, a coherent vibration of gratitude mathematically attracts matching frequencies. It's exactly like tuning a guitar. Your internal vibration actively tunes the physical reality around you. Then we have the law of correspondence, which is essentially nature's fractal principle. Have you ever noticed how the roots of a tree perfectly mirror the structure of human lungs? Or how river systems look exactly like our blood vessels? Even swirling galaxies spin in the exact same pattern as water draining in a sink. Your external reality is a direct fractal reflection of your internal state. It's that simple. If you have chaos in your mind, you are absolutely going to have chaos in your life. So, combining all of that, here is a crucial question to ask yourself. What if your future self is actually causing your present actions? This is the law of cause and effect, directly combined with that incredible retrocausality we discussed earlier. Yes, every effect has a cause, but because the future can influence the past, you can actually establish a real quantum connection with your future self. Your ultimate future state can genuinely guide the actions you decide to take today. Let's move right along to Triad 2, movement laws. This second triad really builds our understanding of how energy actually flows through these systems, dictating the natural ebb and flow of our reality. The first movement law is the law of rhythm. Everything has its highs and lows, right? The tides come in, the tides go out. Resisting that rhythm,
Fighting those natural ebbs and flows just because you're terrified of the low points always leads to panic or depression. It's literally like exhausting yourself swimming against a powerful ocean tide. True wisdom is learning to move with the rhythm. When the tide is out, take a breath and gather shells. When the tide is high, that's when you swim far.
In this triad, we also have the law of polarity and the law of compensation. Polarity means everything has an opposite, but they're really just varying degrees of the exact same thing. Hot and cold? Just degrees of temperature. Success and failure? Just degrees of outcome. And then the law of compensation dictates that the universe will always balance the scales. You literally cannot give without receiving in return, and that compensation often arrives from entirely unexpected sources flowing through the quantum field. And all of this brilliantly illustrates the law of transmutation of energy. Remember from science class, energy doesn't disappear, it just changes form. This means we absolutely do not have to suppress our tough feelings. We can actually act as emotional alchemists. You can take the raw, vibrating energy of fear and transmute it directly into excitement. You can transmute anger into intense, laser-like focus, and profound sadness into deep empathy. You are simply changing the direction of the energy, not destroying it. All right, we have arrived at Triad 3, Creation Laws. This is the really fun part. This is where you shift from merely understanding the rules to actively becoming a conscious creator of your own reality. I need you to forget everything you've ever heard about the law of attraction being just making vision boards and intensely wanting things. Standard visualization usually comes from a place of deep lack. True attraction is actually quantum resonance. You do not attract what you want, you attract the quantum signature of what your field currently represents. If you want a ton of money but you feel totally poor inside, you will mathematically repel wealth. You have to change your deep quantum signature first. Rounding out the creation laws, we have relativity, gender, and divine action. The law of relativity is all about shifting your perspective. A sudden job loss could be a total disaster, or it could be a completely liberating opportunity. It depends entirely on your coordinate system. The law of gender is that necessary constant dance between the active and the passive, the giving and the receiving. And finally, the law of divine action happens when you step out of your own way and become a pure conduit for the universe, acting in total, effortless harmony with all these laws. Okay, the 21-day quantum experiment. Let's dive into some actionable mastery and actually apply these laws right now. This isn't just a lofty promise. This is putting quantum mechanics into real daily action. Here is your exact 3-week roadmap. Week 1 is field calibration. Every single morning, for the very first 30 seconds you are awake, put your hands directly on your heart, feel its physical rhythm, and verbally align your field to the laws. Just get calibrated. Then, week 2 is morphogenetic activation. I want you to pick a specific trait you want, like massive success or boundless creativity, and mentally step right into the morphogenetic field of someone who already embodies it. Feel it completely. Finally, week 3 is quantum creation. This is where you shift your fundamental quantum state regarding a specific problem in your life. Don't rush to act, just maintain the state of the solution, and I promise you, the exact right actions will naturally follow. The biggest thing to remember here is transformation over techniques. If you've tried stuff like this before and it completely failed, it's almost certainly because you were just relying on surface-level techniques. You were changing your actions, but completely ignoring your underlying quantum state. That is literally like painting over a rusted-out car. Sure, it looks nice on the outside for a minute, but the rust just continues eating away at the metal from the inside out. You have to fundamentally change your state. Moving on to the power of 1%. There is a deeply hidden secret as to why people fail at this, and it's because they apply these universal laws entirely selfishly. When you use this just for your own personal gain, you actually contradict the law of divine oneness, and that instantly creates intense quantum resistance. True unstoppable power only unlocks when you align your personal success directly with the evolution of the whole system. And to prove just how powerful this kind of alignment is, listen to this, 23. During a highly documented 1993 experiment in Washington, D.C., 4,000 people gathered together to simply meditate with a shared, coherent intention for peace. They didn't march, they didn't protest, but without taking a single physical action, their collective state caused the violent crime rate in a city of millions to drop by a massive 23%. There is a genuinely staggering mathematical reality to all of this. It only takes a critical mass of 1% of a population entering a coherent state to completely and entirely alter a massive system. Just 1%. That is how incredibly powerful these quantum laws are when they are actually put into collective action rather than selfish isolation.
I want you to really sit with this profound truth. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. You don't just exist to passively obey the laws of the universe. At your absolute deepest level, you literally are the universe's laws in action. You are pure vibration turned into physical matter. Which brings us to the absolute most important question of this entire explainer. Are you ready? Are you ready to stop playing by the tiny little rules that have been imposed upon you and start actually creating reality based on your true quantum nature? The 21-day experiment is right there waiting for you. It is time to become a conscious creator. Make the decision right now to change your quantum signature, and I guarantee you, the universe is going to answer.